Welcome back. It is time for the final match. There are 2 players left in this arena, and one of these Terran players will take home the final Codes spot for today.
Welcome back to Killing Time and Mosquitoes with Gull and Wolf. Entombed Valley is the map. Terran mirror match. Bomber against YoDa, who's going to Codes today. DRG already achieved his goal. He will play in Codes next season. Mini and Genius, they are in Code. One more spot. That's what we are currently going to wait for. Who is going to take the last spot for Codes? We're going to find out. Entombed Valley is loaded, and we are ready to go live with the last match of the day. It is going to be Bomber against YoDa at the GSL Up&Down Group B. Starting to the bottom left is the Terran player for Startail. He lost to Dongragu. He won every other match so far. He's facing another Terran player today. This is
Startail Bomber.
Startail Bomber looking good today against DRG. He lost to an 8 pool. But now he's facing another Terran player. Starting to the top right is his opponent from Team LGIM. Named himself after a Star Wars character, and with a win here he would end up in Codes. It is
LGIM YoDa.
And he is up against Bomber's gas first. You'll be putting that gas down. This is what I talked about before. The map rush distance, if you are not cross positions, is pretty close by air. And unfortunately for Bomber, though, he finds himself at cross position, so he's not going to be able to utilize that against his opponent. But you have a greater chance. You have a 66.7% chance.
And currently YoDa is starting with a 14cc. He's just waiting for the fauna minerals. There they are, and drops the command center right away. So we have very, very different strategies shaping up here. Very aggressive build from Bomber, who starts with the refinery, and YoDa on the other hand playing it more focused on his economy.
Indeed. This is when these 2 builders collide, you can have a very, very interesting game, because usually one player either does the damage he needs to do to win the game, or the other player defends and has such a lead economically that it's hard for the attacking player, the aggressive player, to recover. Sometimes, though, you have games where the aggressive player, Bomber in this case, does a little bit of damage and expands, and you have a continuation of the game. So one of those 3 possibilities will occur here. What type of aggression is Bomber going to put on here? That is the question.
Yeah, at the same time, Bomber will have the mule a little bit faster, but as you can already see, Bomber is going to fall behind in economy. As Wolf already pointed out, if Bomber does not do the damage, then he will be in a very, very difficult spot, because the economy for YoDa will be so much better that he can win in a later game with ease. Right now, we're having at the bottom left, Bomber just going for his factory, and of course he can put a lot of different aggression on here. He can go for a Banshee build even with Cloak, which is a little bit unlikely given the positions that we have on the map with the cross.
And he did take a second gas, so it looks like he wants to do a Hellion play instead.
Yeah, we don't have him within a reactor just yet. He drops the starport right away though, and soon he will have... There's the tech lab now.
This bunker that YoDa is building is so important right now. This is actually going to be something that may end up saving his life as the attack commences. How will Bomber attack? What sort of angle will he take? That's what we're going to see. Now, something else to note, of course, as you guys have already seen, YoDa did not land his command center on the low ground right at first, but now after he drops the mule, he will land it immediately. So not too much loss there, just a slight amount of mining. He's spending a lot of time actually making this add-on and the factory, so he's not going to have a ton of units when Bomber's attack arrives. And Bomber, not going for a drop, as I expected, but rather going for Banshees. He's going to have his own command center, but it's going to be very late. And Bomber does not know what sort of build his opponent's taken, so he's actually going to find himself very behind here.
The thing is that Bomber didn't get the reactor, and that was the point where you could really see that he wants to go for the Banshee instead of the drop. He kills the SCV, which is really important here, and with the 1 Hellion, he at least is able to sell the idea to YoDa that this is more likely going to be a drop play than a Banshee. But without the second gas that Bomber is just now building, there won't be Cloak, so he really has to micro this Banshee well. But he has, on the other hand, the command center a little bit faster than he would have had it if you decided to go into Cloak 2.
This is the best possible scenario for YoDa. He's going to be facing a weak attack with the safe build that he's chosen. His follow-up was really nice. A fake Cloak here by Bomber. Really smart. This is going to maybe throw YoDa off a little bit. He sees that there's no second Banshee being made, though. Now, YoDa has the he went for the fast commander, made it on the high ground. Then he got his gas very quickly. He took a slight risk there, but it was safer because he has his commander on the high ground. Now he's going to have his Viking out in time. This is going to be so hard for Bomber to actually make anything work with the Banshee that has no cloak against a Viking, which is what we're going to see here. Blue Flame coming out for Bomber, indicating that he wants to go to a mech composition on this map.
And Bomber now, with this, as you said, with this Banshee is not going to do anything here. The Viking is already out. YoDa is playing this very safe. His Code S career depends on it now. And for now, he can do a little bit of damage, but the Viking is already out. The timing works perfect. And this is, of course, due to the starting positions on this map.
Yep.
Oh, but he still kills 3 Marines.
Yeah, he was able to kill a little bit there, but 3 Marines for a Banshee is not the best trade.
Yeah, of course not. It's not worth it, but at least he killed something.
Yeah, he got something out of it. You're so right. And now he's got the Raven coming out, because when you go for Banshees and you have a feeling like I'm talking about YoDa now. He's getting the Raven. He has a feeling that Cloak's on the way. He scanned earlier. He saw that it looked like it was being researched. So he's feeling pretty good about the first one, but he wants to make sure. And he started the Raven even before that happened. So now he's like, okay, no matter what, I'm going to be safe against Banshees, even position his Marines in his main base.
And you know, another point is, up to now, YoDa didn't really decide on which tech he's going to choose here. We don't have additional barracks or factories, but he has a lot of gas right now.
I think he's going to go back because...
Yeah, there's the factory. And now the Raven, of course, is not only, it's not only a lot of sense because he's afraid that there might be cloak for the Banshees in a second Banshee, but also because he can use the point defense drone.
Yeah, that's the secondary purpose. Point defense drone works extremely well against brawlers. Obviously, when you have mech versus mech, it's going to be more important for Viking fights, those point defense drones. YoDa has a nice Hellion count here, but he's facing Blue Flame. So he can kill this one and clean up the watchtower, but he's not going to be able to actually fight straight up against bombers, other Hellions that are now roaming the map. He's got to be very careful. And now, with seeing that Blue Flame for just a second, he knows, okay, this is mech versus mech. And mech versus mech is a really interesting game because it's all about positioning, but also about Viking counts. Viking counts become very important in the late game because the game becomes usually an air battle in some ways. It becomes like, okay, well, we both got a ton of siege tanks, but you've got the Banshees. Now we got to make Thors. I got to deal with your Vikings somehow. And
this is exactly the point when the Raven comes into play once more. Because of the point defense drone, you have this advantage in the Viking battle. And if you have a very good position, you can use the point defense drone in order to zone your opponent out and force him to take a bad fight. But for now, we have just both players trying to look a little bit for an opening, with Bomber having a slight advantage with map control. He controls the middle of the map at the Zalnaga Watchtower and has all the information that he needs. But in regards to the Harvesters, YoDa is still a little bit ahead. 5 Harvesters out of his opponent, builds the third just a tiny little bit faster, and also has the faster siege mode here.
Missed the placement of the type out there, as just kind of as a note to us. There it is. The faster commands are so important because when you go for mech, you want to have the 6 gas as soon as possible. And YoDa's going to have that faster, or excuse me, Bomber's going to have that faster. Even though YoDa has the faster commander, Bomber will probably have the gas up first because YoDa's going to sit there, make his orbital with the commander in the mains, but make him lose a little bit of time. We'll see upgrades for both these players as well. Bomber going to be the one to have the first armory. And even though he had Blue Flame faster, he wasn't able to utilize it just yet, so that's not going to be an advantage. Notice the continued air presence that YoDa is building. He wants to have this extra trump card that he can rely on later on in the game.
He already has a lead in the Viking counts and he's still producing them. The Raven is also still available. So YoDa is getting ahead in every aspect of the game. It's just a small lead that he has, but if the next fight ends in his favor, he will take a huge advantage in this game. So Bomber has to be very careful. It's all about positioning in the end though, so it's not like he has won. What Bomber really has, the one advantage is that he already has his third base on the low ground at his expansion.
Yeah, and he's mining, he will be mining gas very soon. Smartly though, YoDa has added his refineries before the command star landed, so he's not going to lose too much here. The Bomber is starting a Thor right now, which indicates he has some idea about, well, he doesn't see the Vikings of his opponent, but it seems like he feels like there's something going on. He wants to at least be safe from it. He's starting 2 Thors right now.
With a Thor, you can work against your opponent's Vikings, and they, of course, deal a bit of splash damage. And he has the battle in the middle of the map, and this is one that YoDa is going to win with the siege tanks that are moving in now, but Bomber retreats before that actually happens. He's still down in supply by just a little bit. And here comes the advanced scan, so YoDa knows that he cannot really get up this ramp. Not with the Hellions.
The wall is almost set up. YoDa's not going to be able to break up here against this many siege tanks. He's going to try to use his air superiority to move his own siege tanks in, but Bomber has so many more right now.
Sieging up, and here's this Asperoid. We talked about the Raven.
There just in the last second, but it still dies.
Yeah, and the point defense drone is gone. The Vikings are gonna be landed because they would have died here.
Turret going down is going to not only get vision, but do some damage to that siege tank. Bomber is in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, he is down 100 to 100 supply against 130. YoDa looking very strong here. And the Startail player might find himself out of luck. His siege tank count is at this point down to 3 against 7. Vikings 3 to 9 in favor of YoDa. YoDa has a great spot here.
YoDa does not have the heavily encounter he used to have anymore, though, or else he'd probably be trying to find a way into that supply depot wall. He may start to reposition himself over there with his siege tank so he can start to hammer away at that wall, because that will eventually supply block Bomber and also give him an opportunity to use those Hellions that he's reproducing right now. He's still making Vikings. And he's got an insane count.
Bomber, on the other hand, is going for a double expansion now. He's taking a little bit of a risk here. He wants to have more mules, better economy. He knows that he's behind. And it's just saying, okay, I'm going to sit here. I know that you can't get in, but I can't get out.
Here's that reposition I was talking about. He's going to start working away at these depots. He's still got a nice spot here, and Bomber actually wants to try to break the contain, but he wasted a lot of time there with those siege tanks. This is not going to work.
No, especially not with those Vikings now on the low ground. Bomber is losing way too much. There are the mules. This could already be it.
Yeah,
Bomber
I think it will be.
is losing everything here. He doesn't have anything left. 40 supply lead for YoDa. Mule after mule being called down by the LGIM Terran, and that's a GG. Bomber is in Code A. YoDa advances to Code S together with DRG. Congratulations to the LGIM Terran.
And that marks just one more LGIM Code S player. So many of them. Startail, though, who plays against them tomorrow, will have to change their stat there on their screen. Have Bomber in Code A. And that means that Startail did not get 2 players in a row into Code S from the Up&Down matches. Really nice play by YoDa, safe play.
Yeah.
Taking a small risk to the Vikings because you never know what kind of push you're going to face while you're making those Vikings. You might find yourself with less siege tanks, it's hard to defend.
Ends up taking an early lead in the game and is able to capitalize on it. So really well done, Bomber, in a situation where he just decided to try to break out, but the siege tanks on the low ground, which is too much for him to handle.
After making a ton of command snares, he made 2 command snares, dumped a lot of resources in there. Thought maybe he could break out. I think he misjudged his opponent's siege tank count, and he paid for it. Now he's down to Code A. We had a pretty cool group today, I have to say. We had a lot of crazy stuff happen during the day, but in the end, everything was fine, and YoDa will advance.
I personally expected DRG and Bomber to get out of the group, but YoDa played really well, and this is the game that it came down to.
We talked about it at the beginning, too. You know, it's like YoDa
Bomber, it was close, but...
It was close, but YoDa had the lowest win rate coming into this. He was the kind of the runt of the group. Nobody really, I feel, expected him to get out like this.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, for Mini, you know, we had like how many games for Mini? 4? No, actually 6 games, and he lost 2, won 4, so that was not really something that he could really base an opinion on, or with the statistics. So YoDa definitely proved that he is worthy of being back in Code S. He advances. I guess we're having a quick look at today's results, and also, of course, what we are going to see tomorrow.
Here are the results. Obviously, we have Dongregu and YoDa advancing. Genius, Bomber, and Mini will join next season's ranks for Code A.
Yeah, very disappointing today for Mini and for Genius. Not a single win, of course. A few of the games didn't have to be played. But yeah, the 2 players in Code S is once again a Zerg and a Terran. YoDa, DRG.
And tomorrow's matches, Group C, going to be another 6-player group. ASD, Keen, Björn, Parting, Shine, and Trap. So Shine being the odd Zerg out here.
Exactly, we have 3 Terran players, 2 Protoss, and 1 Zerg. Shine is just unlucky. Every single time in Code A, he falls. This time not at the hand of one of his own team, but he falls to Terminator.
I feel like the real big hitters in this group are going to be Beyond, Parting, and Trap. You know, Shine is getting a lot better right now, but is he on the same level as the other 3 players? That's what we're going to find out.
Yeah, but Keen, you know, Keen, every single time I see him in the Up&Downs, he's playing quite well. So, I don't know, he might end up being in Code S this time again. It's going to be a tough group.
He's really inconsistent, similar to Bomber. And, you know, sometimes he's on fire, sometimes he's not. ASD is looking a little bit better right now as well. I feel like he and Shine are on the rise, and this is like the final test. It's like, well, are you ready? Can you get into Code S tomorrow or not?
Yeah. That's something that we are going to find out tomorrow, of course. So we have 5 days in total this week with the GSL Up&Downs. On Saturday, then the GSTL with the Startail versus LGIM match that we mentioned before. Guys, this is it for today. So tomorrow everything is gonna run a little bit smoother. I feel today was a bit of an odd day, was an entertaining day, and also very good StarCraft 2 matches. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show. We're gonna see you tomorrow. Bye bye.